And tensions between the U.S. and Iran escalated this weekend after U.S. Central Command says 2 U.S. service members were killed Friday in Jordan. One service member is missing in action following Iranian strikes there. CENTCOM says they are not releasing the names of the 2 service members killed until after their families have been notified. Now, the deaths bring the number of U.S. service members who have died since the war broke out nearly 5 months ago to 16. According to the U.S. military's Defense Casualty Analysis System, as Jen Sullivan reports, there's a rising fear the conflict will spiral further.
The U.S. military launching a new wave of strikes on Iran. These latest attacks come after 2 U.S. service members were killed Friday in Jordan following Iranian strikes. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth posting on X saying, "Godspeed heroes, their sacrifice only stiffens our resolve." There's now a greater concern violence between the U.S. and Iran will further escalate.
I think there will also be a little more severe retribution attacks for the killing of American troops.
The U.S. and Israeli forces first launched strikes on Iran on February 28th. Since then, there have been multiple efforts by the U.S. and Iran to negotiate a peace deal, but so far nothing permanent has been finalized. And some worry the Trump administration may consider sending troops to Iran to de-escalate any further violence.
That's a bad option because it's expensive and no one wants boots on the ground, and it just doesn't kind of add up for the American public.
There's also economic concerns. If the U.S. and Iran exchange more strikes, maritime traffic through the Strait of Hormuz could severely slow once again, likely driving up oil and gas prices.
We're at a little under 14 million barrels a day from the Arabian Gulf region. That's 2/3 of pre-conflict traffic, dramatically up from where we were back in March.
As of Sunday, oil and gas prices were going up again. And if oil operators are too worried to travel through this key waterway due to safety concerns, those prices could go up even further. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.